Dear students, greetings. Welcome to today's class that deals with emergence of heresies and important ecumenical councils. In an atmosphere of peace and freedom inaugurated by Constantine, the church in the eastern part of the empire, instead of remaining united in faith, faced a serious threat of being torn apart by strife. That strife, which was very religious, perhaps more theological and doctrinal. Being no longer under the grip of fear for life and property, the church had now enough time to busy herself more actively with the meaning and interpretation of the truths of faith. Theology at that time dealt with highly speculative and conceptual questions on the great mysteries of the Trinity and Incarnation. Heated discussions and resultant divergent opinions and counter arguments created an unpleasant scene which endangered the unity and integrity of the church. Being worried about the political stability of the empire, which was under threat due to the doctrinal disputes among Christians, the political heads had to intervene to settle the religious issues in the fray. The first heresy that erupted in this period was concerned with the Blessed Trinity. There was a pastor or a priest called Arius. He was from Alexandria, started preaching that the Son was subordinate to the Father in the Holy Trinity. The Son, according to him, is not eternal because God the Father has created him out of nothing. He is the first and noblest of all creatures. Even though he is different from the Father, he is united to him as he is adopted by him as his Son for his excellence. This new doctrine of Arius rapidly spread far and wide and created a lot of confusion among people. He was condemned by Bishop Alexander of Alexandria, but Arius found support and encouragement from other bishops and priests. So now a synod was arranged at Alexandria in 3118, where the council excommunicated him. Students, in those days, when the council excommunicate a person, then the person would be put to death. In spite of such stern disciplinary action against him, he won more supporters, and particularly the protection of Bishop Eusebius of Nicomedia. Taking stock of the situation, Constantine convoked another council, a council of Nicaea, in northwestern Asia Minor in 325, with a view to find out a visible solution for this Arian heresy. About 318 bishops took part in it, and among them 7 were from the west. The emperor himself inaugurated that council, attended some of the sessions, and exhorted the bishops to safeguard the unity of the church, brushing aside the theological differences. After much heated discussions, the bishops formulated a creed affirming that Jesus Christ is true God from true God, begotten, not made, and that the Word, the divine principle in Jesus Christ, is of the same substance as the Father. And this doctrine was pronounced, and the priest Arius was condemned, together with all the bishops who refused to sign the creed. No sooner the question of Son's relation with the God the Father was settled than a new problem on the word incarnate surfaced. Theodore of Momsutia, a leading member of Antiochian school, in his attempt to explain the distinction between the two natures of Christ, went to the extreme of making two different persons. He taught that in Christ there were two persons, and only of the human person Christ, in whom the Word dwelt and was born of Mary. Therefore, he concluded that Mary could not be called the Mother of God. After his death in 428, his disciple Nestorius On becoming the Patriarch of Constantinople in the same year, he endorsed his master's heretical teaching and affirmed that Mary was the mother of Christ, and he used the term Christokos and not the mother of God, Theotokos. Now the council at Ephesus was organized by Emperor Theodosius II in 481 and condemned the heresy of Nestorius and proclaimed that Mary was the mother of God. He banished Nestorius to Petra and then to the deserts of Egypt. Another heresy that rocked the church was monophysitism, propagated by Eutychus. He is an anti-Nestorian monk who was the abbot of monastery in Constantinople. Mono means one, physis means nature. He admitted that Christ is one person and that the two natures, namely the divine and human, are united in that one person. But these two natures, after the union, are no longer two, but there is in him only one nature, which is divine nature, and one person. At this juncture, the Patriarch of Constantinople, his name was Flavian, called for a synod in 448 in which the heretical teaching of Eutychus was condemned and he was excommunicated and deposed. In the following year, Pope Leo I wrote to the Flavian pointing out that the teaching of Eutychus was heretical. But in the Synod of Ephesus, called by the Emperor Theodosius II the same year, he was declared orthodox through the influence of Dioscorus, the Bishop of Alexandria, and his supporters. They took complete control of the synod and even refused to allow Flavian to read the papal letter to the participants. Then, at the request of Pope Leo I, another council was convoked in Chaldean in 451, in which the bishops reaffirmed that Jesus Christ was true God and true man, and that in him the two natures which remained distinct were united in one prosophone and one hypostasis. Apart from the widespread heresies, there were many other heretical teachings that created confusion and disturbed the peace and unity of the Christians and church, and they died out in course of time by the intervention of the leaders of the church. And in the notes that I have given you, I have listed out all the heretical teachings and the proponents and how the church fathers or the apologists or the defenders of Christian faith defended their faith and articulated Christian doctrines and developed Christian doctrines and dogmas against the wrong teachings or against the teachings that disturbed Christian faith and growth of Christianity during that early period. Thank you.